Hi there, world. Do you like my hat? My husband bought this for me, and I promised him I would wear it on the live stream, so here it is in all its glory. And I said that this was an occasion hat. Like, the next time there's a do at church, I'll wear it and impress the hell out of all the little old ladies. But I don't think this is an everyday wear sort of affair. And I don't, how does it, okay, the tag is there. So what if, yeah, that's better. Isn't it just next level? But generosity is generosity, right? Oh, hey, geek girl, what up? Missed the video about which this chat is. That's okay. The topic is one that recurs often in this world, so you're probably familiar with it, the whole I left the left phenomenon, and how I think that that's just a frustrating nonsense because, leftism is based in egalitarianism, that revolutionary, literally, Enlightenment idea that all people are created equal, right? Thank you. I was just saying how my husband bought this for me, and I was trying to tell him that if anything, this is an occasion hat. This is not an everyday wear hat. But I promised him I'd wear it on the live stream, so here we are. And I shall wear it as long as I can stand it. I'm sorry. It's great, right? But it's for, a church function or something, right? Or perhaps a fall festival, next time we go to is any sort of a festival. I don't know. But yeah, as far as people leaving the left, it's like, did you actually leave the idea that all people are supposed, should be equal in society? Did you actually leave that idea? Because I feel like the left, especially in the United States, has really run the opposite direction, which is the problem, right? And it's very frustrating to me that so many seemingly intelligent people are falling for this shtick. Well, if that's what leftism is, then I guess I'm not a leftist. That's not what leftism is. Right? Aye. And how in the hell are we ever going to establish any sort of political left in the United States if people keep behaving this way? Well, I can't identify as a Democrat anymore, so I guess I'll give the Republicans a try. How brain dead is that? My hat is loaded with buttons. About half are super turfy. That's awesome. I should put buttons on it too, right? It's already so much. What's a little more? Like, I have room for buttons here, right? I don't have any turf buttons. Somebody sent me a bunch of stickers years ago now. So, thank you to whoever that was. I don't even remember anymore. And I, stuck them around town and all over my notebooks and stuff. But I never have got any buttons. I should buy some, obviously. I don't. I could say my husband bought me this hat. I don't buy a lot of just stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, and then I have my regular hat right here because I have hat hair today. Anyways, yeah, and somebody already commented under Raptorus, I think it was, already commented under the video that, well, and what about union rights and stuff like that? And it's like, yes, there are reasons besides social stuff to identify as liberal and leftist and whatever, like political reasons and economic reasons. And it's yeah, embarrassing that someone like Anna Kasparian would not be deeply, oh, that was a fly on the lens, would not be deeply aware of all of that stuff. It's like I said in the video, she's been in liberal media for a long time. I don't know. I cut out a whole lot. There was a bit about her objecting to covering like the viral Karen stories a few years ago, and she said it made her feel icky, and she couldn't really pinpoint why. So she ended up having to go with these are private citizens and we don't have the proper context and yada yada. The journalistic angle, which is fine. If you do your journalism properly, then a lot of that stuff is weeded out without you needing to consult your personal ethics. But like, I've never ever covered any of that shit on this channel back in even when they were all over the place, because I'm not comfortable with just criticizing the behavior of a random woman I don't know. I feel like that's off-brand for me. Like, I feel like that's off-brand for me. That's beyond criticism, actually. Like participating in the cancellation of some random woman is what it would be, because I criticize women all the time. Women are not above criticism. That's not what I meant. And, if you do something in public, you're not above criticism for whatever that was. But, like, the hate trains on just random women because somebody caught them on camera having a conniption fit. For all you know, she has mental health problems. You know what I mean? Like, that's not your business. That's not everybody's business. Certainly, I don't know. It got to be a bit much there a while back, a few years ago. I'm sure we all remember that. Okay. Hat will definitely be in the thumbnail now, so thank you for the hat, honey. I'm going to save it for church or some, whatever festival we go to downtown next time or something. Maybe the lady who made it will be there, and she'll be excited to see it. There. I feel much less self-conscious now. I found this one at the thrift store. I've been looking for a felt hat that wasn't a freaking fedora, because I do not want a fedora. I don't know. I feel like they're just not my style. So that video was actually sort of a chore to make. I went to a lot of trouble to find just the right music to go underneath it, because it's over 25 minutes long. And I thought, maybe I thought and mixing it and looping it just the way I wanted and all of this. And I got this music from inside the software that I've paid for the license for. And then YouTube wanted to copyright claim the music for the video, and I wasn't going to get a cent. What little I make from this video would go to somebody else who is apparently gaming the system. Apparently, there are people who are using this licensed music from software like this in their own tracks and then copywriting them on Spotify or whatever. So, obviously I don't want to give money to somebody who's fucking cheating. But that was frustrating. I wanted to have some nice music under there for y'all to listen to while we chatted with Anna Kasparian. But, yeah, I was not allowed to do that. And I'm just so glad that I tried to upload it last night and, was made aware of that, so I could just go back and take it out. Because, what I make from my video, I want to come to me, Where did my pin go? I just dropped my pin. I'm so sorry. Oh, well. It is a beautiful day. It finally cooled off around here. Y'all are being so quiet. I can sit here for 2 hours and just talk to myself. I've demonstrated before that I can do that, but it's less fun for everybody, I think. How is everybody's Wednesday going? How's the weather where you guys are? I'm still missing several of my regulars. It's been awful quiet around here lately, just in general. I miss you guys. I can't even say that this is my main socialization because, like I keep mentioning, church. I do go see those people every week. Uh, but they pay me to do that, so that helps. And I work in the nursery at the church. And I wish we had more kids, but that's another story. That's been such a mess, but that's another story. Um, and the house is full of people, and you know, I just this is probably the most fun socializing I have all week, easily, and it is great for the channel to do all the brainstorming and all the just tossing ideas around, and like I'm already getting hot and I have to take my sweater off. And I am just gonna end up babbling about my novel again if you guys don't keep me occupied, because as I know I said last week, I have some momentum going there, and I'm thinking it was Belle who requested that maybe I might just do a reading of it or something so that they could listen to it. And I think that that's a fun idea. I think that that might be a good idea, a way to make it easy, easily accessible to people and also difficult to steal at the same time. Right? So, once I get the first, I don't know, it was it was like 37 pages, and then it, you know, expanded to 40 pages. The first section of it is the bit that I've been polishing for the last couple of months. Oh God. And I mean, I'm making headway there. Making headway there. It's not as if nothing is going. It's not as if there's no motion there. It's just slow going because these things are slow going. That's fine. But I was hoping at one point or during the summer to get the first book polished up by the end of the year, and that is, yeah, I've had to let that go. Just one disruption after another around here this fall, and it's been crazy as usual. So it's not a disaster. Things are still moving forwards, but I could definitely get. I think it's very reasonable to think that I could get this first section nice and well polished up by the end of the year for sure. And so then I could just read it to the camera. And then, you guys could listen to it and let me know what you think if you're interested in that. And I also had a question for anybody whose mind runs to these things. What exactly would you say is the difference between like historical fiction and alternate history? Is there a difference? Is it really just sort of two flavors of the same idea? Or what? I guess I'll never know because everyone has left me now. I truly don't know what I'm going to do for 2 hours if there's no one to talk to. I don't know what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to have to find something to do. Maybe we'll go stack wood or something. Jeez, I'm crow. I'm so bored sitting here for 2 solid. Oh, no. No. Someone will show up and talk to me, right? What? Let's see. fun thing I stumbled upon this morning out of nowhere, really, is that apparently Neil Gaiman's dad was the head of Scientology in the United Kingdom. So that's fun. So Neil Gaiman was raised not by any Scientologist, but by these Scientologists in the United Kingdom, which is amazing. And I'm not really sure how that fits with anything. I don't really know what to make of that, but it's amazing. It reminds me of when I learned that Brett Cooper's mother adopted Ayn Rand's cat when Ayn Rand died. That's just a level of like intimacy that you don't encounter much, you know, and these stories about famous people. I don't know. It's been a while since I complained about Ayn Rand. But she's so aggravating. How am I still subscribed to astrology emails? I do not remember how that happened. I think I was taking a personality test and I got subscribed to that or something. That's probably what happened because I am not into astrology and never was and never will be. I cannot fathom. Hey, don't get me started. Which I couldn't fathom it to begin with, and then come to find out it's like hermetic fan fiction that these dudes in the Middle Ages made up thinking they were reading hieroglyphics. And like nobody in the Middle Ages was reading hieroglyphics because the Rosetta Stone was not cracked until 1822 or something like that. So, yeah. It's mystical fan fiction, and I can't. That explains a whole lot to me. To my mind, that explains a whole lot. I covered that last fall in my Occultism is Trash video. Oh my gosh, I have to figure out what I'm doing for Halloween. Like, I know what I'm wearing, but I have to, because I have a set costume just kind of tucked away that I pull out. But I have to figure out what the kids are wearing. I have to figure out what I'm doing for this because I love Halloween. I don't usually do a Christmas episode because I don't see Christmas as being necessarily related to feminism in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. But occult mysticism sure is. Man, I wish, I want to go back a little bit to I really, we were talking about how feminism is demonic in August, and that was sort of a wasted opportunity, but as anyone who follows the channel knows, I had to leap on that when I did because it was a golden opportunity in a different sort of a way. And so I want to maybe return to that a bit, like the connection. There is a connection, between feminism and the rise in like alternative spiritualities that has happened repeatedly over history. And I think that it goes back to how patriarchal religions vilify and demonize the feminine, right? So then, to a mind that lives within that framework, reclaiming the feminine can take the form of reclaiming the demonic and everything associated with that. So there is a direct connection there, culturally speaking. Anyway, not that women are actually demonic. That's, oh my gosh. It's just also childish. I don't understand how anybody actually believes that whole king of hell thing. Like, you want to talk about a king of creation? At least that has I don't know. If there's a, assuming any sort of creator at all, arguing about the nature of said creator is an argument to be had. But, like, the king of evil? Are you fucking kidding me? The most mustache twirly villain that there ever was. I'm not saying that, like, but it's what the Romantics did essentially was give the devil a sympathetic backstory. They were the original edgelords 200 years ago or more, who decided to have a little sympathy for the devil, and that's just been a trendy undercurrent in Western culture ever since, as far as I can tell. You can find that shit. It goes up and down in popularity, but it's always been around, and it is linked with feminism. It's the idea, if women are patriarchy's villain, the idea of giving the villain a sympathetic backstory, well, is really just acknowledging that we are the protagonists we're the heroes of our own story, aren't we? And so that's, there's something to that. It's a literary thing, it's a cultural thing, it's a religious thing, it's got a lot of dimensions to it. I'm not sure exactly how I would approach that for a Halloween episode right now, and I need to give that some thought, obviously. Halloween is in 3 weeks? Holy crap, what day of the week is that? Oh, that reminds me, next Wednesday I have to be on a field trip. Holy crap, I'm glad I remembered that today. You guys. Next Wednesday I have to be on a field trip, so we're not going to get to do the live stream next week. I'm going to have to make myself just a little bit scarce because I have to go to a farm or something. I don't remember what it was. I took a picture of it. I have the information in here. But yeah, so next week I won't be here. We'll have the video, obviously, because I make them on Monday and Tuesday. We'll have that. The video will be up. I don't know what it'll be yet, but yeah, next week I won't be here. It's crazy. Halloween is a Thursday. All right. Okay. I can work with that. Which means we're going to have one up the night before or the day before. So, yeah, I definitely need to do something Halloween themed. So I need to come up with something straightforward for this week so I can work on that. And my novel. And. Oh. It never ends, does it? It's crazy. Where is everybody? I don't know. This YouTube thing is so up and down, This has happened before, where I had a few people who I saw regularly for months, and then everybody just kind of disappeared on me, and I'm not doing anything different. I'm just kind of gonna hang here and do my thing. I mean, that's part of the gig when you're a public figure or whatever. The show must go on, right? I am at your convenience, right? If you so desire, if you are inclined to engage, then I'm here at your convenience, and that's how this works, right? I know. And I've been saying, I've been giving a little thought to how I might improve things around here. Just engagement wise and topic wise and like thumbnail wise, just I need to organize my playlists. I feel like that would help. I feel like that's a back end thing almost, but I know that when I'm getting to know somebody's channel and they have a lot of videos, I tend to go over and see if they have them organized into categories or something. I do that. So I figure other people probably do that. And if they do, they're going to find a mess, because this is the same account I've had for like 12 years. And some of the playlists that I don't know, I've gone through and tried to private all my private stuff several times. And then I'll just be kind of looking for something, and I'll notice that random personal playlists of like music videos and shit. Or, stuff I meant to watch 3 years ago and never did, are public for no apparent reason. My hat is lit. Oh, yeah. No, you're already. Yeah. So, yeah, and it's just like, and I've noticed this doing this thing where the last video did okay. We got about 340 views on that one or something. And it was at 333, and I refreshed the page, and then it said 332. I'm like, that's like the clock ticking backwards. It's not supposed to do that. And I second guessed myself, but I'm pretty sure I saw what I saw, and I don't know what to say about that. This one's doing pretty well though. 2 out of 10, so not bad, not bad. It's nice. It's sort of a lot of work, you know. Uh, now it's telling me there are 2 comments, but I don't see another comment. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so aggravating. Like, it makes me go to the video itself and look underneath it like everyone else to see the comments, which is sort of bonkers. Oh no, that was me. Hope springs eternal. Oh well, it's a beautiful day. I think I'm out of sunscreen, which is sort of a problem for me. Ooh. Hold on. You want to wear it? Oh. Ooh. I'm gonna take my sweater off. Oh, there's my pin. All right. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. It's not. It's October, right before an election. Things are bound to get crazy here in the next couple of weeks, right? Ooh. Hooray, hooray. So, maybe this year's Halloween episode will be something along the lines of the horror of modern life. I don't know. Oh, crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna put on some sunscreen and maybe go stack wood or something. I don't know what. When does the Wi-Fi will work all the way over there? I don't know. I don't know what to do. You guys are yeah, and so anybody watching this will be interested in the reading of the first couple of chapters of my book, just so you can, get a feel for it and whatever. Leave it. Yeah, it's gone. God damn it. Leave me a comment down below this or something if there's any interest. I know at least one person would be interested in that, so I'm probably going to do it. And also, I think it might be kind of a good idea, like I say, just to make it easily accessible to people, but at the same time, not easy to steal, because I'll just be reading it. Maybe I'll private the old ones, because that was the first draft. And, you know, oh boy, there was a lot of characterization missing in that one. And, yeah, well, you know, basically everything I've been working on for the last year and a half or whatever it is. I should have something to do on here when there's no one to talk to. I should have some kind of backup thing that I do. You know, besides just running my mouth about whatever's on my mind, because sometimes it's not especially interesting. I don't know. I got the stuff to cut down on redness for the camera, and then I didn't wear it. I forgot to wear it yesterday. So my vanity strikes again. You know, it's a curse. Anyways, yeah. I don't know. Things have been pretty quiet around here the last few weeks, which is nice. My sister's diabetic, so we're trying to sign her up for disability, and I have no idea how long that's going to take. But that's really boring stuff. I don't know. This was funny though, because we went to the Social Security office yesterday, and were greeted immediately upon walking in the door by a policeman, like a trim, silver-haired policeman, right? Ah, you know, do you have any weapons? Do you have cell phones? Turn them to silent. Blah 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 blah. And he was talking like there was somebody who a number got called and nobody was there for it because apparently you could check in at remotely at the social. You know, they have an app. You can check in remotely, but you're not supposed to actually do it until you're there. And he was chuckling at, you know, these stupid people. He didn't call them that, but that was his attitude. Who try and get their check-in done before they leave their house, thinking that their number will be up by the time they get there, as if they're gaming the system. And I'm just like, I don't know. There are a lot of doctors' offices that want you to do it that way now, so they don't end up with like a crowded waiting room full of sick people. So, like, I don't know if they're gaming the system so much as doing what they've been fucking trained to do by the other place they go that uses that all the time. I don't know. It just seemed like one of those moments of, like, old dude being grumpy about something because he doesn't understand it. So, here's a funny little anecdote for you. You know, it's funny. This is why I used to try and do this on Saturday because I figured everybody would be busy on a weekday. And then it ended up everybody was busy on Saturdays. Go figure. I don't know how people work. I don't know. Do my best to know how I work, but ooh, people are tricky, aren't they? People are tricky. So I guess I'll just sit here and smoke and talk to myself for an hour and a half because, you know, this is my time for you guys, and then I'm off to do momly things for the rest of the day because, like I say, the kids are home from school this week. It's fall break. I thought we might go to, there's this little graveyard around the corner from here that's quite old. I was going to take them and some paper and some charcoal down there and do grave rubbings, you know. It's a great day for it, too. I thought that would be a fun activity for Halloween, for October. You know, it's a fun spooky season activity. And, decoding messages, hidden messages, really. So that's how I got the little guy interested in it. So that's probably what we're going to go do this afternoon. And then I don't think I have to make supper because my husband made more burgers on Sunday or Saturday. That man made more burgers and ribs and stuff than you could shake a stick at. He invited a bunch of people over. And we have a bunch of food left over, so I've been off the hook cooking the last 3 days or something. And I had this habit of not getting too distracted with my own thoughts and trying to remember to check back to see if y'all have said anything, and there's nobody here. So I just keep looking at that same message over and over again, which sounds sad, but that's not what I mean. Like, it's whatever. I can sit out here on a beautiful day. If nothing else, I'm building good habits. This is my routine. This is part of my routine. And I genuinely do like that. Most of the time, these are a lot of fun. And we have some really, really fun conversations. And I don't know where Bella is. They, she, whatever, said that they were going to come talk to me. That's fine. Ooh. I do, though. I just don't know what to sit here and do. For the camera. It's, I'm not even good at cartons. I don't. Because I pretty much said what I wanted to say for once on the topic in the video. And I guess I'm just not going to use music for a while. I guess I'm just not even going to try to do that. Obviously, I'm going to talk to my web developer friend about that on Monday and see if maybe there's a better software to use. I don't know. At this point, it's been years of this, and I know the software really well, and I do not mean to be inflexible, but I am a tad busy right now to just take days out of my life to learn new software. I understand the time investment that needs. I'm not going to sit here and kid myself that it wouldn't just grind my production to a crawl. As if the editing isn't the most time-consuming part of it anyway. But that video, and most of them, honestly, I need to get back to doing stuff on Monday. I have a 10, 12-hour production time turnaround from, nothing to finished product. Which I'm kind of proud of, actually. I'm kind of proud of that. I've managed to get my, smooth out my production process to the point where I can just take a day and make a video and then move on with my life. It's nice. And I really don't want to tip that apple cart, you know what I mean? I don't want to rock that boat. It's nice. For now. I understand that this is, things are always changing and growing, and I'm looking forward to that with, extreme earnestness. Honestly, I'm like, whatever the next turn is, I think I'm well prepared for it, and I hope that it comes soon. In my life. Uh, I don't know. It's always fun to present yourself to the world and be like, I'm ready, and have the world be like, are you though? Like, and I am almost out of coffee. That much is a fact. Mm. No, and as far as private personal stuff, I've actually just been gulping down humility lately. So this actually feels rather apropos to be sitting here talking to myself in that way. And I figure, like it is, it's a month before the election. People are fucking busy. I am too. I'm making special time out of my this is part of my routine. This is it's not special time. It just is time. It is the time. This is the time when I am here to do the live stream for anybody who wants to come and talk to me. I mean, I don't. I want. It's so annoying because I do want people's attention, but I don't just want people's attention. Right? Any idiot can get attention for any stupid shit, basically. And I do not want to just keep chugging away in obscurity forever. I don't. Maybe I need to meditate on that and I don't know, come to some greater understanding of my motivation. I don't know. Because I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh no, my motivations are pure. I just have this message." I mean, I do though. That's why I am here. If I didn't have anything to say, I would not be on YouTube. But at the same time, it gets to feel frustrating when you're talking to a small corner of people when you're talking about these larger topics. It's like what Anna was saying about being a woman trying to get in on that conversation. Good fucking luck, you know? And hearing her, of all people, say that as a woman who was in on the ground floor of this conversation is both validating and terrifying. Because what hope is there for somebody like me? And it doesn't matter. That's the thing. If I'm Don Quixote tipping at windmills for the rest of my life, then so be it, because that is what I will do. Unfortunately, that will have mean that I did not succeed in my endeavor entirely, so... Because like I said about the novel, I want people to read the damn thing, obviously. And talk about it and, have any impact at all, as one does. As one hopes that one's art will have, right? And I'm sure it feels like I'm sitting here feeling sorry for myself. And I'm acknowledging that is what I'm doing. I'm acknowledging that, yeah, some things are disappointing and frustrating. But so at the same time, by acknowledging that, I can say, what do I do about this? How? Because I do. I need to get people's attention. But not in a way that gets me banned or shadow banned or whatever the fuck happened a while back. That was fun. That was fun a few months ago. I don't know what that was. Um, but besides just being old reliable over here, which is nice and all, but it's useless if nobody knows you're doing it. Not nobody. You guys aren't nobody, but you know what I'm saying. I acknowledge that I am not at the moment part of the greater conversation because none of those people know who I am. So I've tried tagging other creators. I've tried, I'm not really sure I've thought about collaboration. That would be so much fun. I'm not sure who I would collaborate with, and I've been over this before. But just general outreach. Like I'm not even sure. And I had somebody offer me an invitation to a platform that I went over and I looked at it and it was sort of fashy. It's strange. So, and I just feel like if I could do something, you know, big and flashy enough and get people's attention, and all of a sudden, it would become obvious that I deserve it. That there is substance there, right? I have no insecurities about that. Love me or hate me, I'm, not just calling people names and whatever. And it's one of those organic things, you can't look at what happens for someone else and just use that as your model. You can't just copy what someone else has done that worked for them because it's like the same thing doesn't work twice. And it's about creating a conversation, like igniting a conversation that people feel compelled to participate in, right? I mean, I don't know. I need an angle, I guess is what I'm saying, something like mainstream feminism isn't feminism or something I can just hammer at. Hmm. Because again, to take it back to storytelling terms, I feel as far as the feminist message of the channel, we've gone broad enough and now it's time to go deep, you know? And down in there is something that's going to strike a nerve, and that's what I need to do. I need to find something that strikes a nerve. A big one. I think the thing that struck the biggest nerve was the misandry isn't feminism. That one really, really did strike a nerve. The idea that feminists don't hate men, why that would be the thing. Apparently, a lot of people are really dedicated to that idea. Looking for the list that I made. So much writing this week. Oh my gosh. There it is. Okay. I did not do either of those things. That's fun. Sometimes looking at old to-do lists is the most embarrassing thing in the world, right? Ooh. Call them flashpoints, huh? Mm-hmm. The feminists, by definition, don't hate, man. I mean, that would make it a garbage philosophy, wouldn't it? That's my thing. Like, it's akin to people who hate colonialists, if you know what I'm saying, just because of the colonial like um it's as deep as a plate. I don't understand this. Because just rejecting an entire group of people based upon an accident of their birth is not philosophy ever, because it's not reasoning of any kind. That's not reasonable ever. There can be no philosophy there. So yeah, the idea that feminism is just about hating men would make it a garbage philosophy. Would make it a non-philosophy. Would just discredit it on its face. Is that why? Maybe some people are so dedicated to that idea, because otherwise they'd have to give feminism the time of day. I don't. Uh, and I'm bad at series. I should probably just admit that too. I've tried to start a couple of different series over the last couple of years, and they don't go anywhere because I have an idea, and I'll think to myself, oh, surely at some point in the near-ish future, there will be another video that kind of falls under this same umbrella. And the misogyny through history one is a really fun idea, but it's hard to do because the most of those stories are just women being treated badly in uncreative ways, right? The one that I found was this amazingly creative. They just buried this gospel of Mary, because it was written by a woman and it really was that simple. That was amazing to me. So, usually the few examples of women throughout history that we have writing things and making their presence known in the culture is the opposite of that. So, man. Fair enough. And some of the most interesting. Oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to go off on that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Sorry. Because I'm a history nerd too, as witnessed by the fact that I'm writing historical fiction. So, yeah. That's where a lot of my theories come from, is just having read a whole lot of history and, stories about stuff that people have done and political movements of the past, and just the, cultural evolution through time that has, led me to various conclusions. There are patterns, and it's what do you make of that, right? And I don't think it's pareidolia, simply because I'm looking at human behavior. I don't think my mind is just finding patterns that aren't there. There are patterns there. There are. It's human behavior, right? There are patterns in human behavior. I think we can all agree on that, at least, right? If you don't believe in psychology, oh my God. That's one of my favorite things that I've encountered recently, is the idea that psychology as a field is being used to push feminism. Whereas psychology as a field was at the very least founded by a guy called Sigmund Freud, who was demonstrably misogynist. Stubbornly, pig-headedly so, okay? Because he was a product of his time, I guess. I don't know, but it's a little late for him to learn better now. The field that he founded has improved in that area. But, like, how in the world? And that's why, the whole student of history thing, that's how I got to this. Because to me, for reasons I just described, that is ridiculous. The feminism is, that psychology is feminist. There are feminist schools of thought in psychology. There are, feminist practices in psychology. And, the whole idea that women are full-fledged people is rife in psychology. I will say that. What up, Bill? You're late. I was sitting here talking to myself for 45 minutes since everybody else ran away for some reason. And I came back to that idea that psychology is used to push feminism because that's the funniest thing I think I've encountered in the last couple months. And I keep coming back to it because it's so damn funny. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for Halloween. How's your day going? Yeah, sorry. Some guy started trying to chat me up right before. It took you an hour to get away. It must have been some guy. How did it go? Did it work? Did he succeed? Is that what happened? Did you meet somebody nice? If so, I hope you didn't put him up for me. It is a beautiful day. The worst case scenario for me right now is that I have penciled in 2 hours to sit outside on a beautiful day. Right? Wow. Woe is me. Which, to be fair, that is one of my favorite things to do anyway. It's all right. Some creeps cat called me this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not fun for anybody. Well, okay. That's not true, is it? Well, one presumes you're saner than that, and that it wasn't fun for you. I'm sorry. At least as a barista, if somebody flirts with you, it's less likely to be creepy like that, right? Yeah, speaking of creeps, the right wing are being very predatory about their, open arms policy. That strikes me as very creepy. Because I do not trust that at all coming from those people. There was one funny detail in that they picked up a traffic cone to use as a... Wow, that's quite a little show. Excuse me. Your mileage may vary, but I don't know, that might put me off. Be like, wow, okay. I don't know if I could stand next to somebody who does stuff like that all the time. Or at all. Wow. But I'm just not. That's I don't like. I was saying this a minute ago too before you got here. I'm trying to figure out how to improve the optics of the channel and whatever. And just sort of processing the idea that you know what, I do want attention. I just don't want, random attention. Hey, Joe, you're back. I've been listening on my way to the doctor's appointment. Oh, okay. I said I was going last week, and it turned out I was a week early. Yes, I did. Ooh, you did what? Sorry. Hear what I said about the optics and stuff? Okay. It's cool. Like, I know people have lives. But yeah, if anybody was listening to any of that, all feedback is welcome. I went to my doctor's appointment last week, and it is until this week. Oh, God. That happens sometimes, doesn't it? That sucks. I'm sorry. I hope it's not far, you know? But yeah, and it got to, I was sort of brainstorming flashpoints, and the biggest one, like that Miss Andreas and feminism video really started a heck of a conversation that just went off in all different directions. In Bloomington, nothing is far. Fair enough. Yeah, same here. I don't think there's any place in this town that's more than 15 minutes away from any other place in this town. But I thought Bloomington was a little bigger than this, but I don't know. It's been a while. Oh my God, the baby I was pushing around in the stroller the last time I was in Indianapolis as the girl who's 20 years old in my house right now. So yeah, that tells you something. Need to look into Toyota dropping all their DEI because they're getting slammed for offering their employees children's insurance coverage for transition. Oh my gosh. Like the state of all of that, okay? And it goes back to I don't know if you got to watch today's video, but talking about how like leftist thought and leftist ideas and social projects and all that shit has been so thoroughly just undermined. DEI, like it's been made into a caricature of what it should be, and so then it doesn't function and is a bunch of bullshit. And people just go, "Oh, these social programs are bullshit. And they don't work." Yes, because they've been implemented badly. By the way, I may be a bit quiet because I'm walking home, but I'll be listening. Okay, right on. But that doesn't discredit the idea of social programs, right? The idea that the government should be at least partially function as an infrastructure to improve the lives of citizens is a solid idea and can work and has worked. You just have to implement it properly. You have to implement it in a practical way. There are countries all over the world that have functioning social programs. And I just don't believe that the United States is actually so stupid that we can't manage to accomplish that ourselves. And, it would sound terrifically paranoid to say that this has been sabotaged. If not for, I have seen evidence of this. I tried to find the quote where it was Friedrich Hayek, the economist, and somebody else after World War II talking about how egalitarian economics was on the ascent, and they really didn't like that. And it goes back to, frankly, even further than that. The old world, okay, that was an oligarchy. That was ruled by, people who thought themselves to be better than everybody else. And that whole social order sort of fell apart about 100 years or, a little more than that now. And their descendants are still really unhappy about that. And the people who've managed to raise themselves to that level, how many billionaires are there in the fucking world? Not a lot, right? And again, it's just these big patterns. And the CIA hired Gloria Steinem, who then went on to be the face of feminism for 50 fucking years. All right? The CIA were handing out LSD in the in the 50s and early 1960s to start, that sparked off the fucking counterculture movement in the first fucking place. Okay? Like, you think that's because the CIA wanted to raise the nation's consciousness? I really doubt that. I sincerely, strongly doubt that. The CIA funded one of the biggest cultural. I wish I could remember this word. I cannot remember what this thing is called. It is the thing that's an NGO that doles out grants to artists and shit. Okay, in Paris. The biggest one for 30 years in the mid 20th century was a CIA front operation. Okay. And this I found in something that had been declassified when I was a baby. Okay, this stuff's been going on for a long time. The CIA was deciding who got funding for their art in France in the 1970s? What is it? The ripple effects of that, one can only, fantasize about ever knowing. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Leftism in general has been corrupted on purpose by people who do not like it for a very long time. And the fact that they've succeeded in the United States to the point where it really doesn't exist anymore. And you have two choices: fascism with purple hair or fascism with pearls. Like, really? It's really frightening. And I tried to talk to my husband about it last night, and he was like, no, both sides aren't the same, da 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 da. And like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm gonna just vote for Trump willy-nilly or like whatever, but long term, the direction is the same. I don't accept that. I don't fucking like that. That's terrifying and horrible. And, I guess America was over at some point and nobody noticed. I don't know. What up, kitty cat? How you doing? Thank you for... No, wait. I was going to say thank you for saving me from my downward political spiral, but then I remembered who I was talking to. There is no point in voting in a national election. Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway, so there. As I said before, if only as a symbolic gesture for the suffragists of the past who, fought and occasionally died for my right to do so. Right. Did you watch the video? I think you'd enjoy it, really. I think it's sort of up your street. You're right. Yeah, no. It's nice to see it. It got lonely here for a minute last hour. I was sitting here talking to myself 45 minutes or something. Just babbling about my novel and brainstorming for plans for the channel, Because I do. I need to come to terms with the fact that I want people's attention. Because I really hate people who are all, look at me. Oh, God, I hate that. Not yet. Just woke up. That's okay. You can catch it later. I'd love to know what you think. That's why I voted the last time. I'm over it this time. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and beg you to tell you that you have to, I'm not that motivated, Why in the fuck would I be motivated to support the Democratic Party? 10 years ago, I was super motivated to support the Democratic Party, and they just ground that out of me. But, I'm genuinely scared of Trump. I'm not going to lie. And I don't understand how anyone isn't. And I don't feel like it's just the media coverage. Then you gotta upload and live stream later, so it's not so early for me. What time is it there? Aren't you like an hour behind me? It's like noon there, isn't it? I had to pick a medium time because I have some people in the UK and then I have a couple people on the West Coast, so if I'm too early, the people on the West Coast are stuck, not catching it. And if I'm too late, then it's the middle of the night for Britain. So no, it's 10. Okay. That makes more sense. So your West Coast is what I'm hearing is yeah. Right on. Like, and if you sleep till noon, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, Just so you know, I don't. I used to do that. I mean, I want to say those were the days, and they were. But like on the other hand, I'm not sure I'd go back to that now, even if I had the option. I must be getting old because I've genuinely started to enjoy getting up early in the morning. So, you know, uh, there are worse things with getting old, right? There are so many worse things than enjoying the sunrise. No, and to be fair, when the sun comes up at 7:30, it's not like so crazy, But oh my goodness, there's something I could babble about. I'll get here still. I'll just be late. It's 10 now. You uploaded at 8 a.m. for me. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. No. Which, that's, yeah. Totally, totally more than fair. Whoops. I just undid one of my buttons. Yeah, no. But so it's autumn, which means that it's seasonal affective disorder season. So I had to put my light on the kitchen counter this week. I started using my light in the mornings because I noticed I was getting drowsy in the afternoons for no reason, even though I was getting plenty of sleep. And yeah, that's always a sign for me. So I'm just amazed and new at how well it works. And I could not recommend the light therapy box more strongly or more, honestly to anyone. It is an amazing thingy. Anything before 9 a.m. is cruel. Yeah, right. You're right. But it's recorded, so it's all good. You catch it whenever. That's the point. Which, if I had 9 to 5, wouldn't be an issue. But I go by different hours. Right on. These days, I especially like some of the people work factory jobs around here that have crazy schedules. You use one too? What? Oh, an alternative schedule? Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to take my kid to school every morning, so I am sort of stuck. I have to get up at 7:30, but I think it's horrendous. Like I say, I don't know if it's about being older. I don't know. It's definitely a shift from when I was younger, where I was a terminal night owl, and yeah, no, anything before 9 a.m. was horrendous. Yeah, no, I completely understand. I don't know. Maybe it is just 15 years, 16 years, however many years of having to get up in the morning with the kids. I don't know. But I'm fine with it. It's nice. There's a rhythm to it, I do not mind it as much as I did when I was younger, as long as I can be on a schedule. Yeah, right. Yeah. That is a big part of it. And that's why I don't like the breaks, right? Because I've been the last couple days, I've been up till midnight again and slept until 9, which is I don't like that. I don't like that as much. If I'm honest, I don't. I'd rather go to bed at 10:30, 11 and get up at 7 or 8. I would. But I have one, but I don't use it for seasonal depression. I use it as a backlight for my pictures. Oh, right on. It's dark in my place because of where my house is situated. Yikes. And, maybe you don't have seasonal depression, so you don't need it for that. But they're not expensive, and they're really bright, right? And Yeah, I don't know. It's just it amazes me. I have to remember to do it every year. And there are years when it gets to be my birthday and Halloween and I have forgotten about it. That's kind of a problem. But this year I've been really proactive about it because I just can't have my brain turn to mush for 3 months this year. I just can't have that. No, 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 no. Because I don't know if anyone has this sort of thing, but like just ponder that for a moment. Every year for 3 months, your brain just kind of stops working right in this vague way that that you have trouble, you know, sensing and appreciating yourself. You just kind of look back and like I have journal entries, from February that are just sad. I lose IQ points. I swear to God. And it's terrifying. Like, who wants that? No, no, no. And I feel like it's become worse as I've gotten older, but I don't know if that's true or if I'm just more aware of it. Because looking back, when you're younger, it can be very difficult to differentiate because you go back to school in the fall too, right? Your whole life changes as a kid every fall, right? And, it can be very difficult to separate. I'm always depressed no matter the season, and it won't go away until the human race starts smartening up. No light will help with that. The light of salvation is our only hope. It would have to be supernatural light, is what I'm saying, in order to help that. Yeah, right. I don't know. Supposedly those lights are good for regular depression too. I don't know why that would be. I was reading that the other day because I was rereading up on the theory of all of this to make sure I was using the damn thing properly. And yeah, they don't know why that would be either. But fuck, if it's have a bright light on while I'm cooking breakfast every in the morning, or go on pills for 4 months every year. Where I'm sitting, there's no contest at all. I'm so glad I have that damn thing. So glad I have that thing. And I left my water in the house. That was silly. I don't want to sit out here for another 45 minutes with nothing to drink. My throat is going to be so sore when I'm done. You guys wouldn't mind, would you? I'm just going to run in and get my water. I'll be right back. Be nice now. Play nice while I'm gone. Oh. I'm back. Helps your body produce vitamin D. That's why one symptom of vitamin D deficiency is depression. Depression is a symptom of a lot of things. I don't know. I'd be interested in some kind of cross analysis between like how are redheaded people more or less prone to like seasonal depression, because theoretically one of the things that comes with this here complexion is like synthesizing vitamin D more efficiently from sunlight. That's what I've read. So by that metric, you'd think I would have less of a problem. I don't know. It comes from my mother's family. I don't. Who are not like that's not necessarily the redheaded side of the family either. So I don't know. They might not be related at all, but you'd think they would be. Our bodies need light in order to naturally produce it. Is why they put synthetic vitamin D in milk. Because most people don't get vitamin D. Yeah, right. Well, needless to say, I get as much sunlight as I can manage. I can't really be a sun worshiper because, well, the pale, you know. But like I say, I don't need to be. I've never thought. I've known that for a long time. That supposedly we synthesize it better from light than most people because of the genetic quirk of being a ginger. Yeah, but Caucasians also live north of the equator where there's less sun. Yeah, right. Which is why part of why redheads are superhuman. No, I'm kidding. Like that would seem to be an advantage there that I do not appear to reap benefits from. So I've always been kind of confused by that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, I guess. What am I going to do? Complain to God or something? No, I don't believe in God. I need to stress that. I feel like I've brought that stuff up a lot lately because, okay. I find some of the stuff that like female Christian mystics are such a fascinating, strange cross section of human being to me. And there are a few of them that their writings are like amazingly intact from like 800 years ago. And I'm sorry, but this one lady was literally doing chores for the Virgin Mary in her visions. I'm like, girlfriend, the Virgin Mary got you doing chores? Damn. That's, again, I would be talking to management about that. I'd be like, excuse me, these are not, what the fuck kind of religious vision is that? What the fuck kind of ecstatic vision is that? You cleaning diapers for the baby Jesus in the river or something? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Some of it is just amazing to me. I have a strange sense of humor, I suppose. So that's where that came from. That's what I was literally what I was thinking when I was listening to that. I'm like, wait a minute. I would be complaining about that. I would be like, yo, God, what's up with this? I have enough chores to do at home. Why I gotta time travel to do chores? Like, that's just not what I think of when I think religious visions, right? You think angelic visitations or something, not diaper changes. I don't know. I don't know. And I just have to wonder, like, what was going on in the world around that person? Supposedly she like watched these female Christian mystic on their natural habitat, fascinating species, Natural Geographic about my grandma. Yeah, right. What would that natural habitat be? A medieval convent, I guess. But like, they are strange creatures, are they not? Okay, and it's sort of contradictory, because generally speaking, Christianity likes to bury its mysticism. They really don't like to talk about it. They find it very embarrassing. All of that, illogical. Christianity likes to fancy itself to be very logical for whatever reason. And then of course it's very patriarchal. So the fact that they're women mystics and correct, right? Yeah, it's good. It's good. Um. So yeah, they seem to be a contradiction of these different victors that should not meet, and yet in these women they do, and it's just so fascinating to me. And some of the stuff that they come up with is, because how on earth do you emotionally interpret Christianity as a woman to feel welcoming to you? Like, that's quite a trick, right? No, but so like I was saying, supposedly in these visions, she like even accompanied like the adult Jesus like on his like journeys to go preach and shit, which is like elaborate as visions go, right? And I cannot. Where's her body while this is going on? Lying in a bed somewhere, one assumes. Possibly having the fit of a lifetime? Like, what? We only get the interior perspective and not the exterior perspective. And I'm just sitting here going, man, I would love to be a fly on the wall. Like, what is going on there? Uh, also, like, not to break anybody's heart or anything, but like they all fit this amazingly specific profile, actually. And the physical symptoms are the tell, really, of this really weird particular form of epilepsy, which is like weird. And I've babbled on about that one before. Praise for conformity is conforming for some women rather than going against it and the backlash that comes with that resistance. Praise for conformity is comforting. Yeah. Yeah. But like, oh, this stuff goes way beyond praise and does not like I say, it conforms to a certain medical profile. But as far as like theology, it's amazing that this stuff wasn't burned. Okay. Because like, the probably the weirdest thing about it as far as Christian theology is concerned is that several of them in spots are like extremely erotic and sexual. Which, you know, Julian of Norwich. I think is that a woman? I think the one that I was watching was I'm sure you know her. Marjorie Kemp. Just interesting stuff to me. And it frankly, the unorthodoxy of it is what I love, because it is these very popular ideas, the Trinity, the Virgin Mary, all this stuff, completely reinterpreted in a totally different. Oh yeah, classic, yeah, right. It's a complete radically different interpretation than like Thomas Aquinas or whatever, who was writing at about the same time. Is it because she's a woman? Obviously, I like to think so. I don't know that Thomas Aquinas was having erotic visions of, like not just Jesus, but the Godhead. Okay, like Marjorie Kemp was married to God. Okay, with a ceremony and a wedding night and everything, and you're just like, what? Again, what was she physically doing while all this was going on? I would love to know that. I don't think Thomas Aquinas had any kind of an experience like that. I think anything most male mystics can offer pales in comparison to something like that. What an amazing level of union with God that is, right? I have no idea what she was talking about personally. It sounds kind of, nonsensical to me, but I don't fucking know, I'm not an expert in that kind of thing. And I just like, Yeah, I don't know. It's just so fucking. And I feel like these days, a lot of people who have leanings like that end up becoming cult leaders. But I guess the Mormon church has a bad cult problem. So, like, even being, like, just a Christian doesn't save you from going on and spinning off and doing your own thing. I don't know. I guess we knew that. I was about to say that maybe because, like, I don't know. I don't know. 20 years ago, I was fascinated by serial killers, and now it's just like a different. It's taken a different form. I just. Like I say, generally people are interesting to me, probably because I do not understand them. So. But Marjorie Kemp, I think, does she qualify as misogyny through history? Like, I want to say, I almost want to say yeah, because the reason that I knew that name, that I recognized it when it came up, when someone was making a video specifically about her, was because Terry Jones covered her in one of his medieval history romp things that he used to do. And what he said about her was very unflattering and silly. Which at this point comes off as a bit misogynistic. And I'm just like, Terry, why? Oh, if you're interested in these female mystic types, I really recommend the Knowing Better video on Christian Science. It's long but fascinating. Oh, wow. Yeah. That one was founded by women too, wasn't it? A lot of religious people in history that had actual power didn't actually believe in Christianity. They use it for power against plebs as propaganda for everyone else to keep them in line. Yeah. 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 And if you look at their behavior, it's very obvious, isn't it? Yeah. True. Especially back in the day when having a position in the church meant, material power in a very real way. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But so, someone like Marjorie Kemp, who, A, certainly believed her own revelations to be just as valid as anyone else's, and B, so did somebody else, because apparently she was illiterate, so someone, like, she dictated her life story to someone else who wrote it down, right? So, and then apparently didn't get a whole lot further than that, and one can only assume why, right? That would be amazed to know what the second half of the Middle Ages would have looked like with Marjorie's interpretation of Christianity enshrined in doctrine. You know what I mean? Like, wow. I think that's a really cool fact, to be honest. Wait, sorry, which one? I'm babbling again. Y'all have to be more specific. Like, talk to me like I don't know what I'm saying, because I don't remember what I said a minute ago. Like, it shows that women were important enough to the people around them that they didn't even need to write their own text. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, someone took her seriously enough to write that shit down for her. And the only reason that it strikes me as, like, and the thing about suppression is if you do it right, nobody saw it. Nobody sees it if you do it right. If you cover things up well, talk about influencer. Yeah, right. But she didn't. Okay, that's what I'm saying. As opposed to someone like Thomas Aquinas, who literally wrote the book on medieval Christianity for several hundred years after he lived, right? There were people quoting and working and just going over. He became the authoritative, like, thought leader. Whereas someone like that, Again, I'm going to go back to Caliban and the Witch. Demonology was specifically created by the church and merchants. It wasn't just mass hysteria witch burnings. It was planned. Ooh. You know, I wish I had time to read that before Halloween. I know I don't. Even if I bought that book today, I do not have time to read it before the end of the month. But so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is they did a really good job of covering that up. If you cover something over effectively, then nobody will ever know it was even there. Right? So going back to Marjorie Kemp, that's what I'm saying. And the only thing that, like, Terry Jones of all people was like, just called her basically the weeping mystic and said that she would weep in church all the time. And implied that people thought she was ridiculous. Which, like, if that is a narrative that has come down to us through time, and he didn't make that up, which, you know, no offense to Terry Jones, but maybe he didn't come up with that narrative. That's worrisome, right? They wrote it up in documents on how to execute it. So the church and the merchants collaborated to push women out of the marketplace. Is that what I'm hearing? And religious life simultaneously. Tangentially related fun fact, one of the political parties here in Northern Ireland voted against posthumously pardoning those executed for witchcraft because he thought they were guilty. Oh my gosh. That anyone has ever taken those trial confessions seriously, it is frightening. That people still do, it's mind-boggling. That is, oh. I'm so sorry. Are you going to have an opportunity to vote against this person at some point, perhaps? They wrote it down because they never expected that it would become normal for the peasants to be allowed to learn to read. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this guy thinks fossils are fake news too. Oh my God. That's fun. Where do people like that think gasoline comes from? Anyway, it's barely acknowledged now. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. But so am I understanding that correctly? It was a collaboration to push the women out. Sorry, my mind is wandering because, yeah, no, I mean, I already knew all of that because the evidence is there, you know. Oh, yeah, and to remove the reproductive autonomy they had so as to form a medical industry. Yeah. So it was just an overall reclamping down on the agency of women by a male-led society. Yeah. Yep. Then again, I'm not. I knew all that. I did. I know all that already. I really do want to read that book, and that was the other thing. Is I was sitting here mentally just beating my head against the wall, of really wanting to go and buy and read that book, and knowing that I do not have time. I do not have time. I don't. Am I okay? I'm sorry. Did I freeze up real bad there for a minute? I'm sorry. My mind was just spinning. and population control, as it was becoming apparent that they would need to control population in the way. Yeah. 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 I'm so happy that they're letting all these comments get through. That's great. That's good. Oh my God. Speaking of slavery in colonies, well, we're all products of this environment, though, right? I mean, it's not as if anyone is immune or above or outside of this. And that's the horrifying thing. And that's why the church spread demonology, but none of them actually believed in it. Wow. So, okay. And this is where my mind goes with that. Going back to the cyclical pattern thing, what is the modern representation of this? Because if it worked that well, why not try it again when you need something else like that, right? That's only rational. I don't know. The divide and conquer is wild right now. That's all I really know for sure. The divide and conquer is just off the chain. Just to the point where it has reached people and shook people who thought that they were so secure in their social order and their social connections in their lives. And that's just, it's amazing. I think the SJW, or crazy feminist folk double, maybe serves some of the same functions as the witch did back then. Yeah. For sure. I mean, think of it. This is the time of mechanical philosophy. They weren't beholden to religious fervor, right? It's happening now. A new reproductive takeover is called transgenderism. Yeah. So in that way, each side has its own flavor of that, right? So if you're right wing, it's the SJW feminazi, and if you're left wing, it's turfs and phobes and whatever. And either way, it keeps you going after an imaginary, hobgoblin. Which, is part of the reason I don't talk about transgenderism all the time so much anymore. Aside from the fact that I'm tired of repeating myself. And I don't see that topic ever shifting anytime soon. The minute it does, I will be all over that, though, mind you, of course. But, and additionally, it's just not the most important thing going on as far as I'm concerned. It's just not. Oh. Feminism has bigger fish to fry, real fish to fry, women's stuff to deal with. There might be fewer trans men if feminism worked better. Crazy thought, I know. Oh, my throat is so dry. It's usually so humid out here, but not today. Oh, wait, I know why that is, too. Oh, Christ. There is a massive hurricane slamming into Florida right now, in case anyone was unaware of that. About 5 hours south of here. It is very lots going on, which is why there's nothing going on here. There's no wind, no clouds, nothing. No humidity, nothing. Because it all probably got sucked up by that bitch down yonder. And here's to anybody who has to deal with that. My gosh. Transgenderism is the next round of removing reproductive autonomy by way of reproductive technology and the free market to profit from that population. Right. No, and I've stepped through that logic before, of like they want artificial wombs, so then it's the angle of women are freed from the burden of motherhood, and you can just go be a career woman, which like, yay! Joining the marketplace, which like at this point looks like out of the frying pan into the fire, right? And just, yeah, it's a scary rabbit hole that I wanted to write off several years ago, frankly, and it just keeps coming back up. And they're just, people are being quite persistent in that idea, and I just like, oh my god, can't we just make pregnancy healthier and easier and whatever? Like, there are plenty of young women out there who would happily become mothers. Oh yeah, right, but then you have a mother between you and the kid, because really, if you don't have that bond, not to get all the because we're in the next phase of capitalism, the end stage, and so those in power need more control in these times and to colonize everything left quickly as they desperately try to maintain the unsustainable. Right. But so they're not actually so stupid as to not understand that it's unsustainable, are they? Because that would be really stupid. My estimation, a lot of them are still probably inbred half-wits, but that's incredibly stupid. Do they not care because they will be dead by then? Do they not care because they will be on Mars? Like, they're gonna burn it all up and leave us plebs down here to choke on it. They don't care about bonds of child and parent. We're not people to them. We're tools to use at their whim. That's all. No, I know. I'm sorry. I came back to that. I know. Like I say, without the bond between child and parent, there's no one there to protect that child. Yeah, so cannon fodder. Whee! But so, like, is the human race suicidal? Why are we like compelled to commit self-harm all the time? Like, why does this need tweaking? Why does this need fixing? You know, because that's what that looks like. Is like it just this colossal, like, collective bent on self-destruction, and it's not one I share, but it's not like I can steer the thing by myself. You know what I mean? Like, Ah, gosh. I don't want to end on such a sour note. Because we're in the last 10 minutes, if you can believe it. That last hour went so much quicker. Thank you guys for hanging with me. That was so much more fun than trying to sit here and figure out what I'm going to say to myself. And, at the very least, I can return the favor. And then I really don't care about them either. By the inertia of the system, there's nothing one can do but be forced to participate or lose all power in where someone who is willing to take your place. Yeah. Right. Definitely come around to that. And so, this channel is me trying to use my skills and abilities to the best of my ability, in that way, by joining in the fray and seeing if I can't make a dent. And I always say this, but I have no idea what next week's video will be yet. And suggestions are always welcome. I have this inkling. I have this feeling that something is going to happen in the news in the next few days. That's gonna feel like it needs addressed, But that's just my feeling. They know they will kill us all, but they rather than have that than lose power. They rather have power than die. See, and if that's true, then that is where my ability to comprehend that ends. And because, that's self-destructive, right? I don't know. Maybe I give people too much credit. But, especially based on what we were saying a minute ago about the long patterns of these things, I feel like there's got to be some long con going on here. I feel like there's got to be some long-term, I don't know. I just don't know what it could be. I just don't know what it could be. Because again, I can't even quite wrap my head around the thinking of those people to begin with. I guess I'll never be one of them. Shucks. Shucks. That's the thing. It's like, I'm not doing this to try and somehow find a space. Like, I want attention. But if you don't ask, you don't get. Right? Shit. So, yeah, just kind of mulling that over today, apparently. That's their thinking. No, I know. I understand that's what you meant. But like I say, I accept that that's their thinking. I cannot really get inside it, though. I can't really take that perspective. I can't quite. Which, for me, the way that I think, that makes me nervous because I have no idea what somebody like that is going to do. This is what I'm saying. Like, it robs me of the ability to see where they're going and what the fuck they're driving at, and I don't like it. If I can't understand your strategy, then I can't see your goals, and I don't like that. Especially if what you're doing is affecting the whole planet. I don't like that at all. Call me nosy, if you will, but... Some of the outrageous things these people do, my immediate thought is, why the fuck would anyone... and sometimes it's just because they're crazy, in the case of somebody like the submarine guy, I'm pretty sure that guy was just off his nut in a big way, and that's why he got himself and those other people squished. But I don't know that he had a serious end game planned there, right? Um, and that is sometimes the case. Of course you can't, because you never had the power to begin with, so it was never an option or choice for you. Right. The problem therein lies in that I just, even if given that power, I would not do the same things with it, right? I am not that person and cannot be, right? Weep. Woe is me. But like I say, I can return the favor and not care about them either. One good turn deserves another. On a personal level, certainly. I do not give a fuck about any of those people. So what you're saying is we have to get you in power and then convince you to use it for evil? What is this? Some sort of parable that we're living in? Come on. Like, I know power corrupts. I'm not saying I'm immune, but like I say, some of the things these people do with it is just boggles my mind. So some of these things I genuinely wouldn't even think of. Like Elon Musk sending thousands and thousands of satellites up, like I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't have thought of that, because that's just not what I would do with money. I don't know. You'd have to be that person in order to have and maintain that power. This is what I meant by doing it right. Yeah. If you wouldn't use it like that, you'd get eaten alive. Right? Yeah. No, I know. I did say, not only am I not that person, I can never be, and that's fine. I accept this about myself. Dare I say, I might even wear it as a badge of honor, because I still have this idea in my head that I'm going to get anywhere with this. I do. I'm very, very set on that idea. But not for power's sake. Like I say, I'm not trying to join them. Jeez and crow. Like become a celebrity or some shit like that. Oh my god. Watch somebody try and follow me around with cameras. I would hire someone to hit them. Very hard. Because no. No. And like I felt for what Chapel Run was saying, honestly, about that. I'm like, girl, I don't blame you one bit. That would drive me absolutely insane. Soon the saying will be Bell corrupts. Watch out for that one. Well, if I ever do manage to get any power and I find you sidling up beside me, fair is fair, I guess. Although if you're going to be a clinical psychologist, you'd be a very interesting person to not that you're not a very interesting person to know anyway, but for somebody who's trying to run the world, right? To have a good psychologist on staff, it's got to be better than like an astrologer. I mean, really, my criticism of leadership is vast and deep and layered and detailed. Okay, like the number of powerful people who have relied on astrologers up into the modern day, of course, and that should be disqualifying. I'm sorry. You're not even making your own decisions. That's borderline incapacitation, right? Where you can't make decisions. Okay. Yep. I wouldn't want to be a psychopath. I actually believe in having integrity and honesty. And what's good for all the community as a whole is good for the individual on the whole. Yeah. Yeah. Usually. Oh, but that's what disgusts me and like makes me like I hate to sound like such a hipster, but puts a bad taste in my mouth about this whole social media thing is because everybody wants to be their own little cult of personality these days, right? And like, I don't, but like, I have to play the game. It's like what you were saying about you either participate or you give up what power you do have. That's exactly it. And I'm trying to figure out how to use what I have to the maximum of my ability, you know. And that's quite a game of trial and error, right? And persistence, I've heard everywhere, everything I've ever heard and read and seen and been told and whatever. Persistence is key, right? But you can't just keep beating your head against the wall doing the same thing forever, expecting it to just magically work one day. You got to be flexible. Shit, it's after 2 o'clock, y'all. Oh, and I just remembered I don't have to go pick him up in an hour. That makes me so happy. There is that. That's nice. Because he's already here. So I should go check on them. We are a social species. We naturally have evolved to be community based, not individually predatory. Thank you, right? And that is how we've managed to accomplish what we have. Thank you, right? So, if there is any such thing as a general human definition of good, pro social, should probably be that thing. So, I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I got to go. Thank you so much for hanging with me. This has been fun. I always say that, and that's always true. The system goes against our biological evolution. Yeah, that's true. Which is why it feels like a grind no matter what you do. It's been great hanging. Hope you all have a great week. You too. You too. Y'all have a good one. And yeah, I will see you next week with something I don't know what it is yet. Bye.